super smart sloths! If you are watching this video, it means that you've officially survived your first day of e-learning! Yahoo! I am recording from my new homeschool. That dinosaur behind me and then a little critter are my homeschool children. Today was also our first day at mommy's school, and we had math in the morning, and now we're practicing our letters. We just did some reading strategies, and it's been a great day. It was really fun seeing you all. I did a little classroom today, and I had the chance to look at your exit tickets, and I was excited to see all your great work. So, way to go! I'm really proud of how you are all working through this. We're going to get into lesson 24, and we are going to be working on word problems, which I know you love. And those word problems are going to involve decimal and fraction multiplication. I also want to let you know that while we're doing our e-learning days,
Hi, Mama.
You want to say hi to the guys?
Hi.
Say hi, super smart sloths. Say hi, super smart sloths. Oh, don't be too scary, Gigi. Scary dinosaur. Just a little rough. Georgie, were you practicing your counting today? Good job. We are taking exit tickets, but those aren't like a real grade. Those are just a way for me to see how you are and where you are with your learning. Again, they're not like a permanent grade in the grade book or anything. They're just a way for me to check out what's going on each day. So stay tuned. We're going to work on some word problems, and then I'll take you through what your responsibilities are for our e-learning day on Wednesday. You want to say keep up the great work?
Take off away what?
Dinosaur, you want to say bye-bye? Not on your hand, please, friend. You want to say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
So each day you can access our slideshow on Google Classroom. I posted it. Oops, I need to respond to some messages on Google Classroom. I posted it in our stream. So this is where you come each day to see what you are responsible for. I will always update a little message for you. And then this slide, make sure you're reading the instructions here. On the next slide, you will click on the date on the calendar for each day's assignments. You will need to come here each day in order to complete your assigned work. So today is Wednesday, so you're going to click on Wednesday. You kind of have to hover here for a second. And then when you click through, this will give you your to-do list for Wednesday. So here's all of the things, and I need to adjust these. I'm recording the video right now, so I don't know how long it is. I'll adjust the times before I post this. So here are all the things that you need to do for Wednesday. So first, you need to watch the video. You're doing that right now. Fabulous. Then you need to complete numbers 4, 5, and 6 in lesson 24 homework. After you've done that, you can check your homework solutions. These are all linked live. So if you just click through, you'll see the solutions. Make sure you're looking good on your solutions. And then finally, you are going to do the exit ticket for lesson 23 on Google Formative. So each day, of course, this looks very different than how our life is in our classroom. But each day, your math homework should not take any longer than 30 minutes. So each day, I also have this in our slides, you do the video, you do your homework problems, check your homework, do an exit ticket, and then I would really like for more of us to just leave a little comment for each other. This was our question of the day for Tuesday. I have included a new question of the day for Wednesday, so please make sure that you check that out. And then here are options. May do are things that you are not responsible for, but they're just some optional items that you might choose to do. You may do your problem set. You may do iReady. You may do Prodigy. Again, these are not mandatory. This column is mandatory. These are all must-do items that you have to complete every single day. So far, everyone's doing a really great job of this. Please just make sure that this all gets done. If you have if you have questions, you can email me. Also, I wanted to show you this So hilarious. Look at these are super smart sloth business cards. Isn't that so funny? I thought those were adorable. This is the company that I used to design our logo, and this just came up, which I thought was hilarious. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at our problem for today. Getting into lesson 24, as I mentioned, and our learning target or our objective is simply stated here. Let's get that archery target going. Bloop, 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 bloop. Solve word problems using fraction and decimal multiplication. So again, this is, we're in a different era. We're learning a little bit differently than we typically do. You are going to watch me. I'm just going to do one problem here because we're actually not introducing any new content in lesson 24. We're just really applying and synthesizing everything we've been working on so far. You can play with that, honey. And yeah, it's gonna be great. So, oops, I kind of zoomed out a little bit too much. Of course, just like always, oh dear, we are going to read the problem before we do anything else. And then I'd really like to draw something before we start doing any sort of, before we start doing, sorry, I don't know if I messed something up. Before we start doing any sort of calculation. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out what's going on here. So a vial contains 20 milliliters of, let's change this to gravy. Just because it sounds disgusting and amazing. If each dose, so there's this magic gravy that we're using as medicine, is 1/8 of the vial, how many milliliters is each dose? Express your answer as decimal. So a vial, I'm sure you've seen this like on TV shows or like those kind of beaker things, and then they are partitioned into measurements. So let's just like imagine the gravy. I don't even know if I have like, ooh, that's a perfect gravy color. Let's imagine, yes, Cal. Yes, Cal.
What did it tell?
Oh, good job, guys. Let's imagine a vial full of gravy. So we want to kind of think about what's going on in this problem so that it makes sense to us. We're not just mindless zombies going into calculations that don't make any sense. I need a good gravy color. I think I found it. Okay, so I'm going to kind of tip the vial over, and I'm going to make the vial look strangely like a tape diagram, just so we can like really see this happening. So the whole vial, the whole tape diagram is 20 milliliters. And then each dose is 1/8. So let's go ahead and chop this into 8 even pieces to show one dose. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my gosh, they're making such a mess. I'm terrified of what's happening behind me. Cool. So 1/8 is 1 dose of the vial. So that's 1/8 of gravy. We want to know exactly what is in 1/8. And then the clincher here is that we have to express this as a decimal. So I feel like you are all pretty comfortable with how to find, no, I don't want to do that. How to find, hey boys. I'm not even gonna, okay. How to find 1/8 of 20 milliliters. That really is just doing 1/8 times 20. And you are all pretty familiar with the fact that if we're going to multiply a fraction by a whole number, hey buddies, whatever mess you're making, you're going to be cleaning up, right?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to multiply 1 by 20 on the top, and then we have that over 8. Let's simplify that. We're looking at 20 over 8. And this is going to go ahead and simplify to, I wonder where this is going. We can simplify this to 10 over 4. I'm just going to go ahead and simplify that to 10 over 4, and I'll tell you why in a second. I simplified this. Uh-oh, I'm seeing big messes. Can you please clean up a little bit so we don't have a disaster in here? Thanks, boys. I simplified 28 to 10 over 4 because I divided 20 by 10 I divided 20 by, 2, and then I divided 8 by 2. And we know that that's totally fine because all we really did was divide 28 by a fancy version of 1, which is 2 over 2. 20 divided by 2 is 10, and then 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'm going to leave it, I know that this is a fraction that's greater than 1. I'm going to leave it in this form because I need to express this as a decimal. I'm going to choose another color just so I can get out of this lovely gravy color. So now what we are trying to do is we want to take 10/4 and we want to change it to decimal form. In order to do that, I want to multiply this by some fancy version of 1 so that the denominator is equal to either 10, 100, or 1,000, because any fraction that has a denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000 can be really easily written as a decimal. So let's think about what can we multiply 10/4 by so that the resulting denominator is 10, 100, or 1,000. Well, I can't multiply 4 by any whole number to get 10, but I'm thinking, ooh, I can multiply 4 by something to get 100. What do I multiply 4 by to make 100? Well, I know that there's 4 quarters and $1, so I know that 4 times 25 is 100. And if I'm not going to actually change the value of 10/4, I'm going to be multiplying 10/4. I'm going to be multiplying 10/4 by this fancy version of 1. This particularly fancy version of 1 is 25 over 25. So we're not changing the value of 10/4. We're just finding an equivalent fraction. This equivalent fraction happens to be something over 100. Well, what is 10 times 25? 10 times 25 is 250. So what we're looking at is 250 over 100. What is that in decimal form? Let's just think about the place value chart that lives in our hearts. Let's put those digits 250 on the place value chart and think about this as hundredths. This last digit is falling in the hundredths place value, which means this is tenths. Here is our decimal. So do you see how this is 250 hundredths? 250 hundredths, which is equal to 2.50 or 2.5. Lots and lots of gravy. Well, actually not too much gravy. I feel like I could take a 2.5 milliliter dose of gravy. I love gravy. So I need you all to do, I'm going to explain this next piece of work together. Like I just showed you, this is not any new concepts. We're just checking this out on a tape diagram. We're multiplying fractions by whole numbers. We've been working on that a ton. The only new piece here really is then rewriting these fractions as decimals. So please keep in mind, if you're going to rewrite a fraction as a decimal, the denominator has to be a 10, a 100, or 1,000. Otherwise, you will not be able to just seamlessly transfer that fraction into a decimal without some long division. Okay.